Morissa Pena arrived at work and noticed someone different in the parking lot of the Hooters restaurant where she worked. She later learned that he was called Rick and that he was homeless. In 2016, Pena worked at Hooters, the famous wings restaurant. But aside from being a server, she's also a professional makeup artist. Indeed, she has used her skills to transform actors into ghoulish characters at Fear Farm, a haunted house in Phoenix, Arizona. But on February 3rd that year, it would be Pena's waitressing job that brought her the fulfillment usually reserved for her makeup artistry.
If you like our content and want to see more, I invite you to subscribe to the channel and click the notification bell to receive the latest videos. Now, enjoy the story.
Because, as she described in a Facebook post, on that day she pulled into work and just happened to glance in her rearview mirror. It was then that Pena noticed this man sitting on a curb across the street, she wrote. She would later come to find out that his name was Rick and that he needed some help from the Hooters employee. Pena's Facebook post went on. I walk up to him and ask if he's okay. He barely mumbled a no and looked down and started sobbing. I asked if he was hungry, but he said very. On hearing that, Pena sprang into action. Next, Pena said she helped him off the ground and linked his arm with hers. She then told Rick she worked at Hooters and invited him inside, where she consequently gave him a table and free reign of the menu. But that deal didn't come from Pena's managers. Her post continued, I told him he could order whatever he wanted on me. And it seems that the makeup artist's generosity had a ripple effect too. Another table brought him a dessert, Pena recalled. Needless to say, Pena said that Rick was grateful for her generosity, and perhaps because he knew he could trust this Good Samaritan, he began to open up to her about his past and what had brought him into the Hooters parking lot that day. Pena recounted Rick's story, writing, he told me he was here from Ohio and had been hit by a car and couldn't go to the hospital because he didn't even have an ID. Then Rick showed her the one item he did have with him. Rick's prized possession hung from his neck, according to Pena. He showed me his necklace. It has Philippines 413 engraved on it. He was telling me how it was the only thing he had. She wrote of the piece of jewelry. Both Pena and Rick were brought to tears by his admission. We cried together, she said. Clearly, the meal and the man's story had moved them both. And Rick wasn't shy about telling the Hooters employee just how much it had all meant. Pena relayed the heartfelt words he'd uttered when he was done with his food. Rick finished up his meal and told me he would never forget my name, face, and how I'd given him hope again, she wrote. For her part, the Hooters employee hoped she could snap a picture with the appreciative gentleman she'd helped that day. Rick seemed happy to oblige, even pulling out a small comb and combing his beard prior to the photo, according to Pena. But little did she know, the grateful man was going to give her one last memento to commemorate their time together. Indeed, as Rick was departing, he made an offering to the woman who'd assisted him. As Rick goes to leave, he takes off his necklace and hands it to me. He told me he wanted me to have it, Pena wrote. I was speechless. I still am. This man gave me the only thing that had any value to him. Clearly, Pena had made an impression on the homeless man, but Rick left a mark on her too. I will never forget him and the moments we spent together, the makeup artist wrote. In fact, she hoped that by sharing her story, she could inspire others to reach out to strangers with kindness. Hence, Pena issued a plea to her readers to spread the love. Please remember to be kind. Remember to help where you can and to do it selflessly. If you can, share this as a reminder so more people can send positive thoughts towards Rick and the other homeless people who need it, Pena wrote. Furthermore, just 1 week after Pena shared her story, hundreds upon hundreds of people had seen it. And it just so happened that one person who saw it recognized Rick. She was actually his sister, and she hadn't seen him for 8 years. Rick's sibling Monica Braxton spoke to Phoenix's 12 News, and she shared more about her long-lost brother. He's had some challenges in his life. He's a former Marine and he looks like he's down and out of his luck right now, she said. Braxton went on to describe Rick as her hero growing up. She also shared with viewers the sincere message she hoped to send to her childhood idol. We want him to know we love him and we're very concerned about him, she said. For Pena, it certainly seemed as though her Facebook post had paid off. Her words inspired a potential reconnection between siblings, which further proved her point. Summing up her nice act, she said, I think a lot of good is coming out of this, and it encourages others to do something like this.
If you liked the video, please give it a thumbs up and consider sharing it with someone who may find it interesting. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.